Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a Silver Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 4th day of November 2021, I'd like to welcome you to join me over at JM Bullion so we look at the live spot prices. However, before I do that, I want to let you know about CGS Coin Tribe has a Coins for a Cause auction tonight benefiting a shelter up in the Massachusetts area. And this will be held this evening, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So check that out. Now, over here to JM Bullion, looks like gold is up 1247 to 1783.39, silver up 41 cents to 23.74, platinum up $20.79 to 1060.70, and palladium up $58.49 to 2088.15. Now, over here to the stock status of silver, it looks like in-stock silver is at 485 units when we were about 500 to about 505. So that's about 15 to 20 units under of what they've been, I guess, running at lately. Now, over here to marketwatch.com. And there's some really interesting news coming out of the real estate sector, and I thought I'd share that with you because it affects all of us in one way or another. And the title of this article, and it's by John Swartz, Zillow to stop flipping homes for good as it stands to lose more than $550 million, and it's going to lay off a quarter of their staff. That's not good news, in my opinion. It says here, well, maybe it is for them if they want to stay in business, right? We've determined the unpredictability in forecasting home prices far exceeds what we anticipated, and continuing to scale Zillow offers would result in too much earnings and balance sheet volatility, CEO tells investors. So these are the folks who are in the business of determining what your home value might be, right? So they can't get it right now. And they are paying more for houses than they should have been. At least that's what they're saying. So let's continue to read on. You can listen to the article. It's 4 minutes long, or you can listen to me either way because I have an opinion about it, right? So it says here, Zillow Group Incorporated is calling it quits on the home flipping business while disclosing expected losses of more than $550 million on homes purchased in the second half of this year, for which the company admits it paid too much. And why did it pay too much? Well, I'll get to that in a second here. It says the real estate giant on Tuesday blamed a faulty algorithmic model for ditching its iBuying business of buying and selling homes quickly, and said it would lay off about a quarter of its staff. Though there you go, it was a computer's fault. The surprising exit announced with pedestrian quarterly profits. Now, pedestrian is an adjective for, well, you didn't ride a skateboard, you weren't on a bicycle, you weren't in a car, nor a horse or any other mode of transportation, so you were going as slow as you could go, right? So it thrashed shares in another rough trading session Tuesday, a day after an analyst said 2/3 of the homes it bought are underwater. Now, remember in 2008, 2009 with the mortgage-backed securities, that kind of had a problem for the markets. And, well, we know what happened. I mean, if you were there, you know what happened with the homes. It took a few years for homes to get back above water. I think maybe around 2015 to 16, people started seeing things finally turn around. So it says here, well, maybe even in 2012 for some properties. But listen, it says here, we've determined the unpredictability in forecasting home prices far exceeds what we anticipated, and continuing to scale Zillow offers would result in too much earnings and balance sheet volatility. They are bouncing out of this quickly. It's really remarkable. In an interview on CNBC, Barton called the decision tough but necessary after determining the business was too risky and too volatile. So if you're a real estate agent, you probably already know this. And if you didn't know this already, now, it's a heads up. It's the writing's on the wall. It's on the Jumbotron. And it's going to get interesting here, folks, I would think. So energy prices are up. Home values are overpriced, right? And, these are the folks who are, putting a value on homes because they have all the data. Imagine all the unique data they have. That's incredible. So that was quarter 1, 2, and 3 of 2021. And the green is homes purchased. The blue is homes sold. So this is, I guess, when they got into the business in 2019, 2020. And that was, during you know what. And they just went gonzo here in quarter 3, and they realized they overextended themselves. They overcommitted, right? You shouldn't overcommit, never overcommit, right? So, whoops, that definitely should have raised some eyebrows early on, especially that kind of a jump, right? Now it says that might have been just greed, unadulterated greed that got them that position. So it says here, speculation about the future and viability of Zillow's home flipping businesses grew grim this week as Bloomberg reported the company's selling about 7,000 homes to recoup $2.8 billion, and KeyBank analyst Edward Ruma warned that two-thirds of the homes Zillow bought were underwater. So what's this mean? Well, Zillow could have purchased homes in your neighborhood, and they probably want to dump them so they can stay afloat, get some liquid in their balance sheet. And if they do that, there might be a fire sale. And well, what's a fire sale? Well, they might dump the homes on the market. So maybe not oh, when this happens, home value is going to drop. That's just the way it is, because they're going to use those recent sales in something what's called comps. And they always, when your home is, looked at by an appraiser, they use three comps, which are the homes that are the comparable sales to yours, with the square footage, the bedrooms and the baths and all that good stuff. And if they, like I said, if they start selling these homes under value, well, it's going to probably cascade. And, well, you know what a cascade looks like, right? Like a waterfall coming down. And that's pretty gnarly indeed. So this is another article about Zillow, and it came out just today. Now it says Zillow is listing homes that paid $1.18 billion to own at 1.6% discount, according to one investor estimate. And this is by Joy Wiltermuth. That's an awesome name. And it just basically says, here we go, Zillow Group's roughly pile of mortgage bonds tied to its home buying businesses has been thrust into the spotlight after the real estate giant on Tuesday called it quits on its iBuying home flipping business. So a lot of stuff going on here with this. And it isn't just them lowering the values of the homes in your neighborhood. They are letting go a quarter of their workforce before the holidays. And these bonds are going to probably come home to roost sooner than later. And there's just so much going on here. And I'm going to leave a link in the description for both Market Watch articles. And now I want to get to my plus one. And it's kind of fun, actually. It's an activity for today. So it's called Success Coaching and Learning Strategies. It's actually really fun. I kind of did a little bit this morning when I was doing a little bit of research here. It says here, values-based decision-making. What is that, right? What are values? Well, values are important beliefs and needs you hold that impact all areas of our lives, right? Of your life or my life, doesn't matter. When we make decisions and take actions that honor our values, we are best able to maximize our feelings of satisfaction and fulfillment, right? So when we make decisions and take actions that honor our values, we can maximize our feelings and satisfactions of fulfillment, right? We can be happy, or at least try to be, right? When we make decisions that do not honor or might conflict with our values, this causes discontent or dissatisfaction that might make us unhappy, right? So to begin making value-based decisions and plans, we have to be able to name our values. And this handy-dandy little values-based decision-making worksheet comes in really, like I said, handy. Now, it says here, what are my core values? And that's just maybe a few. Maybe you can think of some other ones, but these are pretty thorough. Now it says here, choose 10 values from the list below to help you think back to times in your life when you felt most accomplished, confident, proud, and or satisfied. Okay, so you can pick from this list. And once you do that, you can go down here to the next page. And it says here, from the 10 that you selected, reduce them down to your core 5, your most important, the ones you want to prioritize. Now, you want to number these according to your priority, 1 being the highest. That's right here. You might find this difficult and get stuck as you choose between the values, but believe it or not, this is great because, well, actually, whoops, I don't know what happened there. Now, this is great because the decision-making can tend to force you to prioritize some values above others. How do you feel about your list? What does it say about you, right? What does this list say about you? Now, we are going to pick one, right? So questions for values-based decision-making. It says here, when you are faced with a big or difficult decision, consider using the questions below to make a values-based decision. So my values-based decision was, it was a question I posed. Am I going to throw grandma into an old folks home? And, let's find out if this conflicts with my core values. Now, one of my core values is family, right? So we can mark that one off. But it's also, I think maybe support, right? So that's a good one. So grandma might need support. She also maybe need family. So there's two conflicting ones, because the family might not be able to be there the whole time to give her the support she needs, right? So, and there's also independence. Yep, that's on there. So we want grandma to have her independence, right? Because we don't want her to lose her self-reliance at an old folks home, right? So these are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves. Is she going to be, dependable? Is the old folks home going to be dependable? Are they as dependable as family is? There's a lot of questions here. And once you find out some of those core values, you can find out what decision you're considering, what are your options, how do your options align with your values, how do your options conflict with your values, which values do you absolutely have to honor, and which values are you willing to compromise? And now, based on all of these previous answers, what decision is best to fit your core values and why, right? How come? Now, like I said, this is taken from UC Davis Success Coaching and Learning Strategies, and you can print this out. I'll leave a link in the description with this particular item. It's going to be kind of cool. You can try that out. And then if you'd like to mention in the comments after you finish this and let me know how you did. So I believe that's it for you today, folks. I know I probably talked your ear off, and I want to thank you all for sticking around this long. And if you do like what you hear and see, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a Silver Stacker, out.